Hey y'all, it's Nyx. This is a new account called SideQuest Talks. This is gonna be a collaboration between me and my 14-year-old. Sai will also have their own accounts, but they will make appearances on this account as well. This will be cross-posted to TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. And what we're going to talk about is the history, the systemic racism, how we got here, the parallels in history that people don't always see because our history has been so whitewashed, especially since my child has been in school between Trump and DeSantis and everything. And I've been realizing over the last several days that a lot of how we got here is because people don't know what's going on. They don't know what happened before. And I understand it's traumatic. It's really traumatic. But it's also really important. We've gotten to the point where over a week ago, an apartment building was raided in Chicago where they dropped down from war helicopters, Black Hawk helicopters. They were armed. I think it was Black Hawk, but either way, armed helicopters dropped down looking for drug warrants in an apartment building with 100 families, kicked in their doors. They're not going to make any repairs. Kicked in the doors, destroyed their homes even more than they already were because the apartment building is run by a slumlord, and dragged these people, their children, these families out into the street in the middle of the night and zip tied them, sometimes some of them together, in whatever they were wearing or not wearing. That was over a week ago. And it's still happening. I've watched people be arrested. I've watched people be abducted because there's no other word for it, especially when they're not giving a reason, they're not giving a name, they're not reading rights because the president has literally come on TV, which is not just on TV, on our phones, and told us that he has revoked free speech. That someone's speaking for him, because I honestly do not care what these people's names are. I guess I should. I don't want him to have any power, and having his name gives him power. Has admitted that they believe they have plenary authority. And no, we don't believe CNN that there were technical difficulties. We could see him frozen and blinking. I mean, come on. If you don't know what plenary authority is, it's absolute power. He realized what he said immediately. He was defending Trump taking away freedom of speech. Our Constitution has basically been thrown away. And it was originally written by a bunch of people that thought it was okay to own people. So honestly, we need to rethink some things anyway. And that's why I'm not interested in the Purple Revolution. Side note. But I was talking to my 14-year-old last night, and they asked for my help because their friends feel helpless. They don't know what to do. They don't think they can affect change. And I did teach my child that is just speaking out and protesting is what to do. I was very upset when I saw in Aurora, Illinois, people commenting that this is why you don't bring children to protest. This is exactly why you bring children to protest. How do you expect them to know how to stand up and fight if you don't teach them? So that's what this is about. We're also going to go over some history because our history has been absolutely whitewashed. There's a lot of things I didn't know. until I was an adult. I didn't know, I think until 9 years ago, what Christopher Columbus did. Today is Christopher Columbus Day in America. Yeah. It's Indigenous Peoples Day, in my opinion. But legally, federally, it's Christopher Columbus Day. The man who founded this country on genocide, that landed, knew immediately that this wasn't where he thought he was, still renamed the people, and then used an almanac, a farmer's almanac, to predict the weather and convince them that he was communicating with their gods to control them and allow them to commit genocide, to assault their women and children. And your God approves. That's how I know what's going to happen in the weather. That's how this country started. It's not, I would like it not to end there. I would very much like to see a movement. Please join me. We'll be out for No King's Day protest Saturday. I did look up the local protest, and they're really taking it to High Springs, which I don't not familiar with. As far as I can tell, it's in the middle of nowhere. That's fine. That's great. I personally can't make it there. I don't have a vehicle right now, and I would much rather protest in the place I'm calling my home now. So if you want to join me, I'm going to be on 6th Street, a block away from Sweet Berries. We're going to set up some of the stuff I was going to donate. So local thrift stores, clothes, stuff like that. I've lost a lot of weight over the last year. We'll have just free, you can grab if you want, because building a community is exactly what we need to do. So we'll be here 10 a.m. Saturday, October, I can't remember, 18th, I think, but No King's Day. I'll post more details later. So come join us, help us build a community here. We are new here. I would love to meet the locals. I'd love to get involved in anything, any communities already happening, but this is really important, and I can't just keep screaming into the void. And I realized making angry videos yelling at you guys for not doing enough was not maybe the most effective. It's just hard when you don't feel heard. And I know that's why a lot of us shut down, and that's why I gave up after the Ahmaud Arbery trial, honestly, because I spent almost every day there, and not everybody got prosecuted that should. The DA got off. The DA that didn't hire them, that did not arrest them, got off. No charges stuck. None. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, please look it up, and if you want me to explain more, shoot a comment. I probably should make a post about that as well. It is history. It is part of history. There's current history happening now. We're living in a revolution. We need to be living in a revolution anyway, because this is not acceptable. It is not acceptable for people to be dragged out of their homes naked in the middle of the night and zip-tied and left on the street, children, while they're surrounded by military men saying they're looking for drug warrants. And as far as I know, they found none, because they didn't advertise that they found any. That's it for this post. Highly recommend doing some research on your own as well. Start with the Tulsa Massacre. Love you guys.